Eric King coming to you from Nugget of Truth and the Shepherd's Way on top of Mount Shiloh. I want to answer a quick question that was given to me regarding the coming of those two witnesses that are mentioned in the book of Revelation, specifically chapter 11 there, at that interlude there between the sixth and the seventh trumpet. There's an interlude described in Revelation 10 and partial first portion of chapter 11 there. And we read about those two witnesses. Now, some people have asked, Eric, are those two witnesses coming at the commencement of the 7 years tribulation, or do they come after the middle, after the first 3.5 years? Are they going to be here during the last 3.5 years of the tribulation? Well, our records here show at the ancient Antiochian Church of God that those two witnesses will be here at the beginning of the tribulation. Because why? Well, because the first 3.5 years of that tribulation are going to be fairly peaceful. The Antichrist on that white horse is going to try to conquer first with peace. But those two prophets are going to be here during that time, and they're going to be warning that it's not going to end up with peace. And then during that time, of course, the beginning 3 years of the tribulation, the 144,000 will start to take form, and they will come to the fruition, the fulfillment of the fulfillment of the 144,000 will come at the middle of the tribulation. And then they will be witnesses to the rest of the world, quite frankly. Again, though, those first two prophets that will appear, the two witnesses at the beginning of the first 3.5 years, predominantly they're headquartered in Jerusalem, in Israel, because in Israel they are going to be warning Israel not to accept this Antichrist. A lot of them are going to accept the Antichrist as their Messiah. See, they've rejected Jesus Christos, but they're going to be kind of looking at this political figure, and there's going to be a lot of false messiahs popping up around that time. It's going to be a confusing time. But those first two witnesses are there for that purpose, to show those who are truly seeking for God, the tribulation saints, that there is a message, that God has a sealing message for that great time of tribulation. And we know what it is here at the ancient Antiochian Church of God, because we have the council to Laodicea, and we are giving that seventh council, that final sealing message, handing the baton down to those left behind when we're caught up and out, that they may take the sealing message from us, the John class, and take it to the rest of the world during that short period of time that will be left. Now, Jesus said to Israel of his time, his disciples were first, they were all from predominantly, they were Israelites. Jesus said, "Ye are the salt of the earth." Now, the salt was a preserver. It was used to kosher foods, and meats were stored, rolled and rubbed and seasoned with salt to preserve them and to kosher them, to drain them. And so when he said to Israel, "You're the salt of the earth, you are the preserver," what Jesus meant is that Israel was meant to be and Judea at that time, where the line of the Messiah comes through Judea, all of Israel was to be the moral light to the rest of the nations. It was the only nation that admitted that it needed forgiveness, that it was imperfect, and it needed Yom Kippur, it needed atonement collectively as a nation every year. It was a humble nation. Jerusalem means city of peace. It was God's city originally. And so the past degenerate condition of Israel has left the world unpreserved over there. The morality over there is gone awry, because Israel has rejected Mashiach, Messiah, and they're losing their saltiness. And God says of Israel, he says, "They are the apple of my eye." And he says, "He who curses Israel, I will curse." And God has a plan for the remnant of Israel and